Speaking of things that happened and probably shouldn't have happened, did you hear about Ridley Scott?
You know what? Genuinely, I have not.
Oh, well, do you know who Ridley Scott is, though?
Is that the director of Alien?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the dude.
Okay.
Yeah. He's actually done a lot of films. Like, was it? Yeah, Alien, Prometheus, Blade Runner, Alien. No, not Aliens. Aliens was the other dude.
Okay.
Which is why it was so
Alien
much better,
2.
But, yeah, Aliens 2. Yeah, or Aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably more of my favorite one. But, so, what else did they do? The Martian, Gladiator.
Oh, really?
There's a Gladiator 2? Oh my God. I didn't know that.
What the heck? Is it starring, what's his face? Russell Crowe?
Kurt Russell? No, Russell Crowe, yeah. Yeah, except he's not singing, thank God. Oh. Kingdom of Heaven. Oh, that's Orlando Bloom. He took off his elf ears for that. Thelma and Louise. Oh, Black Hawk Down.
Okay,
American
so
Gangster.
he's directed multiple like classic award-winning films.
Yep.
Yeah.
Multiple 2000s, 90s films or
True.
80s, 90s films.
Do they still make films that good these days?
I think he tried. That's so. With The Duelist, he tried.
Because I feel like all the films that get like nominated for Oscars and like win the Oscars these days never like have commercial success. Where maybe back in those days, 2000s, maybe 90s, like they did have some commercial success too. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
Because what won Oscars? But yeah, I don't know because Parasite was Oscars, right?
Think so.
We are Googling this because we prepared so well.
I am Googling it right now. Okay, so it was Nomadland last year, so I've never heard of that. Sorry. And basically have not heard of any of the nominees. Well, I guess I'm not even in America, so that could be why.
Yeah.
Okay, 2019 has some movies that I've seen.
Oh, really?
Parasite, which won? The Irishman.
Oh, yeah.
Joker. Joker was amazing.
Oh, I had 1917.
Heard of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh, and Ford versus Ferrari.
Heard of that.
It's a very good car movie.
Nice. Marriage Story with Kylo Ren, right?
Oh yeah, that's the one where they get divorced. I think that was on Netflix.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I definitely didn't watch that.
I didn't watch that. It looked really, really depressing.
Yeah,
looked like something you watch and you come away feeling horrible. So didn't really want to watch that.
Yeah. Oh dang! Oh wait, 2020 was when Minari was up for
What's Minari?
Nomination. That's the one with Steve Ewan.
Oh, okay.
What was his
Glenn
name?
from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Asians.
What else? Oh no, wait. Bohemian Rhapsody was up for award the year before.
Yeah, I guess what I said is just not accurate because Green Book won. I watched that.
Yeah, Green Book was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
A Star is Born. Oh yeah,
I actually watched The Favorite.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, I guess technically it was good, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, it's one of those movies where you're like, yeah, that was technically good for sure.
Yeah.
But enjoyable? I don't know.
Oh, damn. Black Panther was 2018? Was it really only 2018?
Wow. Damn. Feels like a long time ago.
That felt like such a long time ago.
That would be crazy if it won.
2017. Yeah, it would have been really dope, but it's also a Marvel movie, so
yeah, it
probably
didn't
not.
have that much depth, right? I mean, it had like, obviously it was like groundbreaking in terms of, I guess, like representation, but in terms of the actual plot, it was just a superhero movie.
So, Ridley Scott was in the news about when we're recording this, which is early December. He got into trouble for kind of making comments about why his latest movie, the duelist, the last duel. That's what it's called. I don't even know what it was. It kind of did really bad. I think they spent like 100 mil. They only made like what, 60 or something. Yeah, it did pretty poor.
All right.
Which for his movies is really bad. I mean, just look at his discography. It's like all blockbuster movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got in trouble for kind of blaming millennials and about people who use cell phones. The way that he said it, it just sounds very, very boomer. You know?
Do you have the quote?
Okay, wait.
All right, I think I might have found something here. Ridley Scott blames millennials for the last duel box office failure.
Oh, here it is. So, quote, I think that it boils down to what we've got today. The audiences who were brought up on these blank cell phones. The millennial do not even want to be taught anything unless you are told it on the cell phone. And then Scott continues, quote, this is a broad stroke, but I think we're dealing with it right now with Facebook. There is a misdirection that has happened where it's given the wrong kind of confidence to this latest generation, I think. End quote. Yeah, that sounds pretty.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like somebody who's I don't even know how to describe it. He's had this in his mind for a while. I don't know, like clearly there could be many reasons why his movie like didn't do well. And he thinks it's because like of, well, one, millennials who are brought up on cell phones and they can't accept anything unless it's on their cell phone. Yeah, okay. I guess that's just so wrong on so many levels that it's really hard to, I can't really even argue against it. It's just so out of touch.
Yeah, that literally has no stone. He's even like has a good foundation.
Yeah, there's no foundation. Like I can't even like battle against this quote because I can't even take. Yeah, I don't even know where to start really.
Yeah, I mean, okay, first off, millennials didn't even grow up with phones, really, you know.
Yeah.
Or we didn't grow up till like, granted, we are kind of, actually, aren't we on the later side of millennials?
Yeah, I think we're a little bit on the younger side of millennials, but a little bit towards the middle. We're young middle millennials. I think like 5 or 6 years younger is Gen Z for us. Yeah.
So that means, yeah, because I had the Nokia brick until like what, middle school, even like a little bit of high school.
Yeah, I had them. Was it Nokia or Motorola? I forgot what the heck it is.
But the brick, right, or something different?
The brick thing.
Yeah, the one
slapped,
that gets mean for being indestructible. Yeah,
that thing was great. Snake was
and
the GOAT game.
I mean, I think that was the only game, but yeah.
There was like another game, but it sucked. But yeah, Snake was awesome.
I remember that phone because our plan was so bad that I think I only had like 20 minutes of talking, like a month. I'm like, Like looking back on it now, I'm like, how do you only talk for 20 minutes for a whole month?
How do you like occupy yourself without a smartphone? That's what all Gen Zers must be thinking. Like, well, this kind of goes back to Ridley Scott's quote, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a time where we millennials did not have smartphones. Actually, it was like our entire childhood. Smartphones literally came out when I was, I think, 17 or 18. Like the literal first iPhone came out.
Yeah, because I think I didn't get my first like Apple product, which was the iPod Touch, until actually literally at when after I graduated, which I wanted at a project grad thing.
Nice.
That was literally my first time having like a touch screen like Apple product.
I think I had an iPod Touch in high school, like, I don't know, maybe junior year, maybe when I was like 16 or something. But the funny thing is, like, the iPhone is literally just the iPod Touch with a phone inside. Like,
and data. Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally the same thing. But it was so slightly different that it had data and a phone, because you don't need to like connect to Wi-Fi and you can access the internet anywhere. That one slight difference changed the entire game.
Oh boy, yeah.
No, yeah. It finally fused what everyone was carrying into just one thing. Just so much more convenient.
Like, yes, you had the iPod Touch, but you could only go on the internet when you're in Wi-Fi. But changing that to just anywhere, like on the train, on the bus, like in your car, that just changed the game. Like, yeah. And then because you had that capability, people started making apps, way more apps. And then you had all kinds of like innovation. And now, like, nobody can live without a smartphone, at least in like the first world.
Oh my God. This is kind of like but like a good comparison of like my first trip to Japan and my later trips to Japan, not having to rely on cafe internet for like Google Maps and stuff. Oh my God, it changes the way you travel.
Yeah, like that changes the game. You can go basically anywhere and you have a map that automatically tracks where you are. Imagine using a paper map these days. Like, you don't have that little blue guy, that blue dot showing where you are on there. You have to like manually track that and then figure out the directions from looking at this map on a paper. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, literally when we would go to like Arizona or like on like different trips, my parents had to go to maps.com and literally print out maps.
Yeah,
or
remember
like
that stuff?
That was even before TomTom. That was before TomTom.
Like, there was like a transition. There's like literal maps like on paper that you buy maybe at like the drugstore, which are just like a book of maps. And then you had this very short era that we kind of grew up in, where you could go on the internet and download maps and print them out. And then you had the thing that actually makes 100% sense, which is what we have today, where the map like actually follows you around, which is infinitely better than all those things before.
Yeah. And the next step is going to be one that's actually accurate and doesn't tell you to turn like a mile after you already missed the turn.
I guess like cartographers are dead. Cartographer is that's a map maker.
Oh,
a cartographer has been destroyed by technology, the cartography industry.
Damn.
But many more industries are going to get destroyed in the coming years. So
I thought they were just photographers who take pictures of cars. Okay.
But yeah, first of all, he has millennials and Gen Z mixed up, which I think is a very boomer thing.
They're all young to him.
But to be fair, Gen Zs mix up millennials and boomers. But to also be fair, nobody remembers Gen X. Like, nobody ever talks about it. It's only boomers, millennials for a lot of people. And then Gen X is like, hey guys. And then
wait, who's before Gen X, or is
boomers? I think boomers,
really?
Gen X, Gen Y, which is millennials, Gen Z.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
even I forget about Gen X, but then I remember, oh yeah, my sisters are Gen X technically.
Yeah, I forgot about my sister.
I have two too.
I think I think they're just smaller generation. I don't know, but obviously boomers are a huge generation, and then their kids are millennials. So I guess that's kind of why they're talked about more. But yeah, and then now Gen Z is the new youngest generation. Millennials were the youngest, but now we're not. But boomers still think we are, I guess, like Ridley Scott. So yeah. I guess the second thing you could say with this quote is like, the millennials do not ever want to be taught anything unless you are told it on the cell phone. Like, where does that come from? Like, I don't know. We do not accept any information that doesn't come on a cell phone. Like, who in the actual world does that apply to? Not even Gen Z. Like, we're incapable of consuming any type of information unless it's on a cell phone. That just doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. I mean, if that was true, then musicals would be dying, concerts would be dying. Or
every single form of entertainment not on a cell phone would be dying. I mean, books would be dying. Yeah, which I guess they are.
He has a little bit of merit in that digital content is definitely becoming the new thing.
True.
And I think boomers who don't realize that, or didn't expect it, are being surprised by it, which honestly anybody who's been paying attention wouldn't be surprised by this. Literally there were early signs like in the early 2000s even.
And it's not really about like, because it's on a cell phone we like it. It's literally the convenience. Like, obviously I'd rather watch a movie on a big screen than a cell phone. Like, if it was for free and I had to choose, okay, do you want to watch it on a cell phone or do you want to watch it in a theater? Obviously I'd pick the theater. It's not like there's anything special about the cell phone or the smartphone besides pure convenience. And that's really the digital revolution, is just pure convenience, pure accessibility, and the ability for like all types of people to create content, not just like people with money and like big companies, things like that. It's really more about accessibility. Like, there's nobody thinks, I'd rather watch this movie on a cell phone than in a movie theater, or I'd rather read this book on my cell phone than like a physical book. It's only there because of convenience, really. Yeah.
Because, and I mean, we even see analog is actually kind of making a return now, because vinyl's starting to get a little popular. Books are becoming a little more popular.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you still see a lot of Audible sales or like Kindles. Do people still use Kindles? I think Kindle's still a thing.
Still alive?
I don't know. Seems a little bit obsolete.
Granted, I do definitely read comics on my phone, but that's just because I don't want to buy a physical book that's only going to last, like maybe one day, and then have to buy another book and then store it somewhere.
Yeah, because physically I prefer reading a book. Like, I prefer holding the book in my hands. It's way easier to like flip pages and go back. It just feels better. You got the new book smell. But I read almost all my books on the computer just for pure convenience.
Yeah.
And nowadays you can switch between the phone and the computer, like, because everything's in the cloud, right? So yeah, it's really all about convenience. It's nothing more. And people are actually getting sick of the digital stuff and want analog.
Yeah, which is good because digital is good, but it's also tiring and kind of boring a little.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do with digital. I guess like these days, it's starting to expand into like the metaverse, things like that. I think that's like kind of a big topic these days.
Bro, Futurama predicted it.
Do you think sci-fi predicted the future, or just the people, the engineers who are making technology now just watch sci-fi?
It's probably both, or it's hand in hand, I think.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, when I saw Ready Player One, I'm like, I almost felt like a prophecy of like what will happen. And then was it like a couple years later, was it they launched or they talk about the metaverse? I'm like, literally happening.
I mean, WALL-E. That thing was WALL-E, the Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out quite a while ago. That caused some stuff. I mean, basically the humans were just like super lazy with screens in front of their faces, right?
Yeah.
They didn't really have to do anything.
I mean, low key, that at least seems kind of cool though.
Yeah. It looks like the direction we're heading. But yeah.
Maybe. I don't see that yet.
Not yet, but
just because I think people still value in-person activities and contacts.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's going to be really hard to replace any type of in-person, like even video chat. You'd think it's basically the same as in-person, but it's not even close to talking to someone in person.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely talk a lot more on video chat.
I guess it's like having a glass window between you.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little bit more accurate, but
yeah. So Ridley Scott, good director, but a boomer in terms of opinions.
Yeah, that's a pretty trash opinion. Maybe he was I guess he was mad or something.
So Ridley Scott, confused grandpa of the week.
Maybe we should make that a segment.
There'd be too many. Honestly, there'd be too many.